Good evening and welcome to the Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and TJ Newsham along with you. We've got the Birch Run Panthers coming to the Garber Dukes. The Duke Dome is going to be hopping tonight, and the Dukes have got a big job ahead of them in holding court here in their home court.
I tell you, the big thing that we've seen even a couple weeks ago when they played Carleton, we talked about how they had to start with the tempo, how they had to make sure they took care of the pace of the game. And then the big word that you used at halftime of that game was finish. Well, they finished that game. Then they beat a tough Millington team on the road. You know, now everything's lining up for them to continue their progress, their strides going forward. So this is going to be a test for them. However, being at home, you've got to be able to hold your home court and hold serve in this league because this league is so up and down, and any team can beat you on any given night.
Well, and I'll tell you, they have been very blessed with getting great crowds that are into the game as well. That is also a great home court advantage.
Well, here you're right on top of the court, you know, as a fan, you know, so the student section is going to be a little bit louder. You can use that to your advantage, but you know, the other thing that Garber has, they've got leadership. They've got seniors. They've got 3-year players. You know, so as much as you want to be able to use the fans to your advantage, you know, sometimes you just got to look in your locker room to figure out where your biggest advantage is going to be, and that's going to come within that leadership.
When you have got a 3+ year starter at point guard, and then you've got a 3-year player in Denham along with Mahar, you have got the epitome of great leadership.
I tell you what you do, and I keep going over this, but those two guys are part of the equation. It's what they do for everybody else, whether it's a Van Octen, whether it's a Jopic, you know, whether it's Benny Davis coming off the bench, or Jacob Dorian coming off the bench. They make everything go. Whether or not they score the points that they would like to score. I mean, let's face it, who wouldn't want to score 15, 16 points a game? But it's the little things that they do that make the entire team go.
Well, and again, when we looked at this last game, it was so important to value the information from the timeouts and how that process to a defensive change or a great call offensively. I love to watch Coach Watts work that magic.
Coach Watts is going to be one of those coaches that is going to come out of every timeout with something a little bit different, which even if he doesn't, if you're the opposing coach, that's in the back of your mind. You're trying to figure out what your team needs to do, yet still trying to figure out what he's going to try to do. So, you know, it works one of those things where it works with you and it works against you. But Coach Watts is the master. He'll figure out let's throw a little 2-3 action. One time, let's throw a little matchup zone at him. Let's throw a little full court stuff at him. He has been great in really pushing the right buttons for the Dukes this year.
Should be a fun and exciting game. It's just around the corner. Talking about the coach, we'll have Chris Watts right after this on the Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show on Bay County TV.
Over the years, he's put his heart into being your dad. He was always there to fix things. Now that he needs help, don't lose hope. Covenant Center for the Heart is leading the way in minimally invasive heart options for inoperable or high-risk patients, with the first and most comprehensive structural heart disease program in the Great Lakes Bay region. It's extraordinary heart care, close to home.
Good evening and welcome back to our Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and TJ Newsham, along with the head base basketball. We'll spit it out here, Coach, because I'm so excited to say Chris Watts, because I've been working on it all week long, mangled it last year, but see, you can tell the progress that I've made. Welcome, Coach.
Yep, thank you.
We were here a couple of weeks ago, and we got an opportunity to see you smile at the end of a game because you finally saw your kids play a great 32 minutes and finish the way you want them to.
I'm not sure if it was 32 minutes, but it was enough to smile. It was a great game. You know, we went into the fourth with a nice lead, and we have high school kids that were trying to win basketball games and needed to learn some things. So it's good that we got a win to learn from. You know, you can learn from losing too, but you got to get that W sometimes.
Well, as a son who has played for you, I know how prepared the kids are. Tell us about how that fourth quarter game against Carleton, winning that fourth quarter game, where the lead dissipated and you guys still had to fight through it. Tell us how that has helped your guys' locker room mojo.
I think it's helped because just believing in each other. We had that last time out, and I just basically asked them whether or not they thought we could win, and it was unanimous that we absolutely will. So, we felt that, and I wasn't, we drew up a play to try to attack and get to a free throw line, but we had a senior make a nice play and dish off to another senior who hit a big shot. So I think they really believed they could do it.
You've got kids on this team that are leaders, that have many years of varsity experience that you lean on. And I know at times it can get frustrating because your expectations are lofty for these kids, but I think that you continue to see them mature and that maturation process for the marathon that will be here until March.
Yeah, my initial thoughts are always you got 3-year players, and just once they become seniors, they get everything, and that's not necessarily true. They still had to go through some things. We think we could have got some games earlier, but we didn't, and so I think we're playing better now than we have. Hopefully we play well tonight and continue to grow, and I think the seniors are starting to realize that there's less games than there are more, so they're playing a little differently now.
Awesome.
So my son Trey obviously played for you a couple years ago. You guys had a quarterfinal run there. You guys were 12-8 when he was a senior. It wasn't like you guys were 17-3 and expected to win the district, expected to win the regional. Tell me about how this team, in your mind, compares to that team, because I see a lot of comparisons between senior leadership, but I remember the building blocks. Every game was a building block toward March.
TJ, they feel very similar. That team that we had, I remember our first few games, we were under 500 and we lost games by less than 8 points, multiple games.
Right.
And kind of the same thing this year, 4 of our losses are 8 points or less. So similar, but we just, instead of looking at it, under a microscope, we got to use a telescope. We need to look out at what is out there for us. So in practice, it's microscope, but the big picture is what we have to pay attention to.
We made mention on multiple occasions in the last game. We love to watch what you run out of a timeout, both offensively and defensively. I don't know many people around that maximize that 30 or 60 seconds better than you do.
We try. That's an opportunity to do something different. It's part of the fun in coaching. If we're playing man-to-man all night long and they call timeout and we go 2-3 zone, they're probably not expecting that, so we just try to mix it up a little bit. We don't do a lot of different things, but we try to mix it up and try to guess what they're doing and run something that will counter that.
Your first 4 minutes tonight, tell me about when you look at the clock at the end of the first quarter at 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Tell me what you want to see, what you expect out of your players, what you expect as far as the tempo goes, the pace goes, and everything else. Is it going to be Garber basketball? Tell me the first 4 minutes.
First 4 minutes, I want to see confidence in their eyes. We tonight specifically really want to try to pressure, and they play a 2-3 zone, and they're pretty good at it. So I would prefer they not get to just keep setting up in that. So I'd like to, kind of establish it on our own. And if we can get grooving in the first 4 minutes, everyone feels better, about themselves. And again, it's really a confidence thing.
We are extremely excited about where this team is at this point. We know where they're going to be in the next 6 weeks or so. As you always prepare these kids very well for the district and regional run. Wish you nothing but continued success.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll be back in just a minute with all the Varsity Boys game action in just a moment on Bay County TV.
You treat your family with extraordinary care every day, which is why when it comes to their health, more of you choose Covenant Healthcare. We specialize in extraordinary care, from diagnosis to recovery, from babies to grandparents. Learn more about our extraordinary bariatrics program. Sign up for our free seminar.
Good evening and welcome back. It's the Garber Dukes and the Birch Run Panthers. Jeff Doan and TJ Newsham along with you. Jared and Natalie Doan on the cameras. Nick Page producing and directing our show. The Dukes are finally starting to put it together, TJ, and let's see if they can continue that momentum tonight.
Well, their game over on Tuesday night against Millington was another step for those guys in the right direction. We talked a couple weeks ago about every game being another step toward that building block toward March, getting over those fourth quarter hiccups, which they finally have accomplished, or at least accomplished through a couple of games. But now let's see if they can take it another step further. We talked about getting that fourth quarter and finishing the game. Let's see what they have tonight. Let's see if they can knock the game out. And rather than rely on a fourth quarter comeback or a fourth quarter shot, let's just see if they can continually put Birch Run away.
Well, they lost 4 games by a total of 19 points. And they're going to get their hands on the ball first. As we come into the front court, Spencer Mahar sends it around wide open for a 3-ball. Tickling the twine. Dylan McFarland, the 5'9 junior, squared up and let it fly.
Well, we know McFarland has no conscience when it comes to getting his shots up, and that was a great shot off a great look by senior Jacob Denham.
They're trying to post that ball up into McGee. He got a double team in a hurry, and the ball went off his leg and out of bounds. So the Dukes up 3 with possession.
Well, Coach Watts likes to run his defense accordingly. He likes to run his guy behind him and then basically dig the guards down in front of him, and that's exactly what Van Achten did. He held his serve, and then he had a little help from the weak side, or the ball side guard.
Mahar had a great look here on this near side, but came a little off one and done with a great backside rebound by the Birch Run Panthers as they're into the offensive set. Garber very high energy and a miss. Jopic has that ball tipped out of bounds, and it will go back over to Birch Run here just 1 minute into our first quarter.
Well, if McGee's going to be a key component for the Panthers to get the ball into, we're going to be interested to see how Van Achten guards him throughout the game.
It was a nice defensive job that time by McFarland. Down the floor, Jopic goes strong to the hole. He's going to be fouled on the play by number 24, Nerdecken.
We'll just call him Mark.
They've got one on each of their teams. The Lady Panthers had a mouthful in that one as well, but great up the court vision. Head up, looking down the floor, saw the angle, got to the hole, and will have 2.
Well, people who watch Garber and look at their box scores and think that those 37, 38-point games that they were running, that was their pace. This is their pace. They want to get up and down the floor. Let's face it, we're relying on 16, 17, 18-year-old kids to execute our game plan. It doesn't always work out that way to our advantage.
Jake Denham with a nice job. Wasn't really sealed off. Went up high and was able to reset the offense. Mahar to McFarland as they go to number 12, sliding it around Van Achten.
Got McFarland sneaking down on the backside of it. They like to run that baseline runner there for the Dukes. And we got another one coming down with Van Achten knocked away.
As Mahar almost got to that, but a nice job under control to the hole. First deuce of the game for Brewster.
Well, the thing is let's not turn the ball over. And I think that's one of the things that you're going to look at from Garber's standpoint is they're in a 2-3 zone. We just got to make sure we're patient. Let's look to dribble penetrate those gaps, get our shooters the ball, and there's a gap right there.
Boy, and I'll tell you, Mahar knew exactly what he wanted to do. He got that ball from 12 and put it right up before the defense had a chance to adjust.
Well, Jamison knew on the shot, Van Achten I'm talking about on the pass. He knew he wasn't going to shoot it, so his eyes automatically turned right to the pass. And that, fortunately for the Dukes, led to Mahar being open in the short gap right there. He sat down in it, caught the ball, and it was just a simple one-legger. Knock it down.
Love that mid-range jumper. That is something that is very tough for some reason for kids to finish in that 12 to 15-foot range, but he did it, made it look nice.
Well, you got to practice it. It's like anything else. You just got to practice.
Trying to move the ball around, and again, taking their time. Good job of getting it back. Denham going to the hole, has that ball rejected by McGee. McGee knew exactly what was going. had his body under control and jumped at just the right time.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jamison Vanack, number 12 for Garber, is going to have to start looking at least at the basket to get that defense. They're not going to respect him if he's just going to catch the ball on the wing and then immediately pass it back out.
Boy, Jake Dunham had a great look as he had the perfect shot, double rimmed out, and we're going to have an over and back.
Oh, there's a little confusion there between the officials. Not sure if there was a touch, but there was definitely no touch. As they're going to call them together to see if they've seen anything differently.
I did not see the ball touched by anybody. I believe it should be continued and over and back.
Correct, and I think they made the right call. But you know what? They made the right decision to come together, at least for the Birch run standpoint.
Well, and that's center's call on the backside, too. That ball is in his third of the court, so he made it. Jake Denham again just misses and stepping on the end line. Nice job by Terry Schmidt being right on top of that baseline. And another opportunity for the Dukes, up 5-2. First substitution of the game will be Schimmel, and we like a lot of the things that he does on the floor.
Schimmel does everything that as a coach you can't ask for. You honestly can't. He gets his hands moving. He gets his hands on things. He's always in the mix of things. And just because he's out there, they're paying attention to him. And Mahar comes in right behind on the screen. And
boy, he came around that screen, had a wide open 10-footer, and just drained it.
Well, here's another example of hitting that gap, especially against the zone.
Quickly down the floor as the pass goes to McFarland. McFarland gets it back in the deep wing, up to Bahar.
Well, they're going to reset. This is one of the things that, Coach Watts' teams are known for. Hey, if you don't have something right away, let's get a good look.
A nice long three ball, double iron that time for Schimmel. Can't get it to drop.
Good look, though. Good look.
As they bring that ball down underneath. Long, high trajectory three ball. Fight for the loose change. That's going to be number 2, I believe, on Mark.
Niedecken. And he's going to take a little
I believe, is how that is, and he's going to find himself with 4:08 left in the first quarter, sitting down.
I tell you what, you like Coach Preston, but you don't want to sit next to him during a game.
That is correct. For 60 seconds of the timeout, you'll be glad to listen. Wide open for a three ball. Number 10, Dylan McFarland with a trifecta.
Mahar coming through with a clutch again, making the right pass at the right time. One thing we know about McFarland, he's not going to shy away from shooting threes or deep threes for that matter.
He has got quite the range. There's a double iron again. Great job by Van Ochten to get that backside rebound. Mahar wide open from 21, lets it fly. Can't get it again. Boy, the Dukes are getting a whole lot of iron. They're just not always finding that friendly roll.
Well, they're getting good looks, though. That's the key thing right now. They're not having to manufacture their shots.
And I'll tell you, that's just too easy for McGee. He's long, boy. I'll tell you, that wingspan is probably that of a 7-footer.
He is, and I'm sure Coach is going to have a little conversation with Jamison about making sure there's contact on that backside.
Moving it around. Van Ochten to McFarland.
Well, we all know the ball moves faster than the dribble, and they're making sure they're moving the ball through the air.
Boy, and I'll tell you, they are forcing Birch Run to really be active defensively.
Definitely getting to both sides of the floor.
Choppich with a nice little fingertip over the front iron and through the hole.
Can you really shoot the ball 9 feet, 11 inches, and just the right amount of spin?
Yep, that's exactly the way he planned it. As down the floor again, Piotrowski has had some opportunities, and we're going to have a foul as going to the free throw line will be Logan McGuire.
A sophomore take it hard right to the left. You get a little bit of an inch, and sometimes you wonder about players. Sometimes they like to stop their dribble. They don't continually going. There's nothing stopping McGuire there. Granted, it looks, according to his free throw shooting, he might be a left-hander, so that may not have been as graciously needed as possible.
Another substitute coming in, a couple of them.
Well, Benny Davis coming into the game for the Dukes for the first time, and Dunham reasserting himself here as Van Ochten and Mahar will take a seat.
Coming into the game will be Jacob Dorian, number 21 on the other side, Chase Gibson.
Well, they both got red heads.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
See, here red, there red.
Everywhere red.
As coming into the front court, 2:20 left in the first. Garber Dukes have doubled up the Birch Run Panthers here in the first quarter.
Well, Coach Watt's going to watch this first quarter through the first 6 minutes, and he's going to be happy with their shot selection. He's giving up 6 points. He's going to be happy with their defensives.
Get out of the lane. That's a good job.
Our man Schimmel.
Wow, Schimmel goes right up over McGee. It says, I'm going to use all that expensive piece of glass, kissing it off the high glass for the deuce.
He says there's a little part of that backboard that hasn't been touched here in 3 years. Let me touch it.
Let me put a ball mark on it. 140 and counting left. McGee looks like he wants to go to the hole. And he gave that ball off to Wright, and Wright couldn't quite handle it, but he still maintains possession of the ball. Another long 3 ball. Schimmel cuts the angle off. Up 14-6 with a buck and a half left in the first. Who Schimmel thought about it, gets it back. Wide open, number 10, Dylan McFarland tickles the twine on the trifecta.
Make the extra pass. You know, he could have shot it. There's no question. No question Schimmel could have shot it. But you want to know what? McFarland's a 3-point shooter. Let's get him the ball. As Schimmel comes down with a rebound, getting the ball ahead to McFarland.
Jake Denham wide open from 19. That's off the iron. Nice job by Jopic not to create the contact. And a little bit out of control. And with 51.9 ticks left, Birch Run just looks a little out of sync.
Well, it's not so much Birch Run as much as it is Garber. Garber's putting a lot of pressure onto him. They're forcing him. When Birch Run thinks something's open there, it's not there. And they're being stuck with having to take a bad shot or force something. We don't want to manufacture shots. That's what we're talking about. And that's what Garber's making Birch Run do at this moment.
Schimmel gets the ball back. There goes Jake Denham. He's going to go strong to the hole, and he just short-armed it a little bit. Caught in that spot where you couldn't quite use the glass, and he just had that split second of indecision. He went up strong with it, though. I like the shot selection.
Well, that's what makes the ball go short in that situation. You know, it's just being the wrong, a little too deep, and just not knowing where you're at, and it's kind of, do you really want to give it a big one? But I'm guessing Watts is going to go. Coach Watts is going to go one shot here with 12 seconds.
Up 17-6. 7 seconds left. They'll get into the offense. Jake Denham going to let a long 3 ball go, and it wide of the mark at the end of the first. 17-6. Garber on top over Birch Run. Back in a moment for the second quarter on Bay County TV.
Village Towing and Auto Repair of Kaukaulin and Bay City is here to help you in your hour of need with fast and friendly service. With over 30 years of towing experience, we know how to get the job done quickly and safely. From big to small, we do it all. Give us a call at 989-684-9607 for all your towing needs.
James Preston trying to get a little bit of energy into his kids, a little focus. But as you said late in the first quarter, it's as much the effort that Garber is putting forth that is keeping them out of sync.
Well, again, going back, we watched the first game, and I questioned around the halftime mark, what offense half-court set are they running? We haven't seen it. Garber girls made the Birch Run offense move a little bit faster than they wanted to, and the Garber boys are doing the same thing here in second game.
Up by 11, just underway in the second quarter. Again, superb defense by the Garber Dukes. Trying to go strong to the hole. Another short arm, one and done as the rebound comes down. As Davis comes down the floor, and they're going to reset the show. Wide open is the shot from number 12 on the play. Van Ochten can't get it to drop. There's a beautiful extra pass. It's missed. McGee's going to go back up, and he puts it up and in. He's very aware of where he's at around the basket.
I tell you what, he hit it with just looked like Van Ochten. He may have gotten a hand on the ball or on the arm. Either way, definitely muscled up.
So Riley Day into the game as well. As Day gets that ball, Mahar thought about the shot. He's going to try and dribble penetrate Jake Denham. Oh, he's set up for the 3. Just off the mark early on again. Nice looking shot. Another 3-ball answer at the other end by Chase Gruno.
Well, that was a little lapse in the Garber Dukes team. They had the shot down here, and they forgot to identify on their way back on the defensive end.
There's the extra pass, and there is McGee's length being able to readjust and make the play defensively.
You know, when you get the ball right there, I'm not sure why we need to bring it down or why we need to hold on to it for just that split second. Give that defensive guy that much more time to recover. Just go up with it. Either that or give the guy a shot fake. I think McGee's more than likely going to go up for the shot fake.
As we've got 6 minutes and change left in the second, there's another 3 ball off the mark. Jacob Denham with a nice job on the rebound.
Mahar comes over and do not pass me the ball until I'm past half court. That division line.
Here's a nice little floater. I'll tell you what, that is a pretty looking baseline shot.
Riley Day coming right at us and just flipped his wrist. And as you would say, twinkled the twine.
Oh, I'll tell you, that was a big basket for Garber, too. Puts them back up by 8 with 5.5 left in the first half. There's McGee. When they force the ball to him there, that's not the spot you want him to be hanging onto that ball 15 feet away. Jacob Denham runs the floor, finds a better angle, uses that left hand. Timeout on the floor. Coach James Preston says we had it down to 5. Now it's back up to 10. We'll take a break and be back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Hi, I'm Zoe, and today I'm here to change your outlook on becoming a referee. Sometimes being a referee can be hard work, but I'm here to tell you that the positives far outweigh the negatives. Just think of the impact you could have on the younger generation, the laughs you could share, and the lives you could change. There's an unofficiated game that needs you.
As the officials split up, Jimmy Fertakis will give the ball in on that baseline. 21-11 with 5:20 left in the first half. A great start for the Garber Dukes, trying to hold court and hold service on their home floor.
Well, that was a great counter punch that the Dukes did when Birch run closed the gap down a little bit. Garber responded well.
Boy, Davis for a while had ball, but with only one hand on it. The offense kept pulling. All of a sudden, we got some arm contact. Good call.
Well, we got Dorian checking in, number 21 for the Dukes, checking in for Jake Denham, the senior leader. I tell you, going back to that pass.
First break for the game.
But going back to that pass on the last fast break for the Dukes, that Mahar being able to look off the direction and get that defensive shift. And you got guys running the floor because they know there's a chance. As long as you know there's a chance you're going to be able to get a shot, and you got a guy like Mahar who can get you the ball, you run the floor a little more fervently than usual.
Boy, and there's a great job on the rebound as Day tried to get it and head down the floor, and there was contact.
Well, we're doing great right here as far as the number of whistles called. I think the referees are not just letting them play. I think you're seeing a really well-played basketball game between two teams.
Well, you know, I know Birch Run came into this game thinking they had a real chance to win, but it is so tough to win on the road in the Tri-Valley. There's a beautiful job. We're going to have a 3-second call on Jopic as he anticipated a little quicker pass than we got.
Well, that and the fact he gave the referee a thumbs up, that's always nice to see when you have a guy that the 3-second call gets called on, because that's a call that no one ever thinks that they should get called on. Me? I was in there? What?
Yep, you know, unless you're at the KOA campground, you shouldn't be in there for 3.
Negative, Ghost Rider.
That's 4.5 left in the first half. Dukes by 10. Nice look underneath to Aaron Swanson for the deuce.
One of the first times Birch Run was able to dribble penetrate, thus drawing the defenders for the Dukes up a little bit higher than they wanted to, leaving the guy exposed on the backside.
Spencer Mahar, he's going to take this thing. Looked like he was going to go straight to the hole. As number 12, Van Octon, trying to take it. He gets double teamed, and there's a jump ball situation. Evan Parrish with a nice job. Dukes will get the ball back off the alternate possession.
That looked like a situation where Van Octon's mind was going a little bit faster than the ball was going. He knew where he wanted to go. He just wasn't quite getting there as quick as he needed to.
Look at that, just directing traffic, taking the time. Van Octon gets it back to Mahar. This time he wants to finish. And a beautiful soft touch for Jamison Van Octon. The 6'1 junior able to finish in front of the hole.
Mahar misses a shot, gets his rebound, one hand rifles it right to Van Acton, and as it was going out of bounds, great play.
And we're going to have it up over the top of the back with a push for Aaron Swanson.
Dorian had good position on the weak side there. Sometimes you're happy to see that call get made because it tells you that it rewards the guy boxing out and being in the proper position, because sometimes it's so tough to get kids to do that.
I tell you, and I've told you 100 times, favorite rebound in basketball is that backside where you seal it off and you maintain it and you own it.
Absolutely. I think Mahar may have slipped there in the painted area.
Well, and he also knew McGee was in the neighborhood. Wide open for a 3-ball. Double iron in and out by number 21, Gibson. Here comes Day back in the offense. Mahar says, I'm going to back it up to the G, and we are going to reset the offense.
Little man look from Birch run. Little back door. Nice left hand.
Kicked.
Yeah, doesn't quite get in there. But Dorian still had a nice play there on the back door.
I'll tell you what, though, Dorian going up for the loose change after McGee had his hands on it. That was a great spot in this ball game, and up 10 with another opportunity offensively. We'll find out if the Dukes can capitalize.
Well, it's going to be important here for those guys to finish strong. In the last 2 minutes and 51 seconds here in the first half. As we say that, they turn the ball over.
And at the other end, number 23, Gruno, with a bunny miss. Then he derfs it down on the floor. Day wants to take it in, and he realizes the big fella's there. Nice pump fake. And they fight for the loose ball. And we're going to have Day with a foul. He did what you need to do. You need to get the big fella off his feet. But I'll tell you, that wingspan, you could have him changing the lights up here in the rafters.
I tell you, the thing about it is, can they continue to get him pump faked? Can they continue to get him up in the air? Can they get a foul on him? Maybe that alters his jumping. As they move into the second half. But they're up 10 points right now. They've only given up 13. The defense is playing great. But it's important these last 2.5 minutes. Finish the half strong.
Swart out into the ball game for Essexville Garber Dukes.
Well, now you're bringing in the 6'7" sophomore.
Trying to do a little matchup on McGee.
It's a challenge for anybody, and just guy coming in off the bench. It's a great call by the Birch Panthers. Whether or not it was an actual call or not, but it was a great decision to get the ball inside. Challenge the guy coming fresh. It's no different than in football. You get a cornerback that gets hurt. You get a cornerback that's tired. The first person you go after on the next play is going to be that guy. Go after the new guy.
McGee with the first one. Way off the mark. He'll have a second opportunity.
Well, we keep talking about finishing strong. The Dukes here, 23 points. Get a good possession on this next one as the next one rattles out.
Here comes Jopic back into the ballgame. He's sat for a while, so he should be fresh.
Mahar out of the game right now is going to put the point guard skills right now either on McFarland and or Schimmel.
As an errant pass goes sailing right by number 10, Dylan McFarland.
The Red Wings aren't calling him anytime soon after that 5-hole.
They went right through the wickets. Bucket and 50 left in the first half. Still a 10-point Duke lead. Their defense has been outstanding in the first half. Only dishing out 13 points for Birch Run. As they have jumped the passing lanes very, very well. Look at the quick feet. Off-balance shot, you'll give that up all day. Here comes Schimmel down the floor. He is going to take it up, kissing it off the glass. Great body control on that controlled fast break.
He knew that the guy was trying to take a charge. He figured if I would have taken one more dribble, one more step, that would have been bad news for the team, for myself. So let me just pull it up right here from 7 feet.
Use that glass. It's a beautiful thing. Schimmel with a step out. Swart out with the rebound. Down the floor. Jake Denham back in the ball game as well.
Under a minute left here in the first half. Coach Watts wants to be deliberate in the offensive end.
Well, I'll tell you, even if you go the rest of the half without it, and there's a nice little long rebound, Jake Denham says, I'll pull it up from 10. He can't get that to drop. And with 35 ticks left, here comes Wright and company. And he hits a 3-ball, a big one, with 30 seconds left. Think Garber's going to take the last shot of the half here.
Going to take the last shot, and they're going to make sure that they limit the touch. Well, as we say that, they try to get a touch inside.
And that ball tipped away as Jake Denham comes down the floor. Jopic is going to be Kutch McGee. He got away with the first reach in. The second reach in cost him. You don't want your big fella 35 feet from the basket picking those up.
No, but you're going to go back. Let's go back to the pass. I understand Swarhout had position, but you're talking about 30 seconds left in the first half. Again, you just gave them an opportunity for a layup. You don't want to do that. You don't want to give Birch any reason to think that they have a chance in this game.
Schimmel looks and loads it up. Double iron, can't get it to drop, and it will be off of McGee with 2.8 seconds left. And Garber's going to get one last shot.
So much for using your head. He used his head, and he got called for the out of bounds.
Farland lets it fly just off the mark at the end of our first half. Garber Dukes 25 and the Birch Run Panthers 16. Back in a moment as we'll look back at the first half and we'll set the stage for the second half right here on Bay County TV.
AAA Transport and Limousine is the Great Lakes Bay region's most reliable and requested transportation service. For over a decade, we have been helping our clients to get to their destination on time, in style, and comfort. AAA's services include non-emergency medical transport, wheelchair accessible, school transportation, and shuttle services. We strive to provide exceptional customer service and tailor our fleet to meet your individual needs. Rest assured that you are in safe hands when you ride with AAA Transport and Limousine. To set up your next appointment, give us a call at 989-893-8294.
Back at the half, Jeff Doan and TJ Newsham. We look back at that first half. Defense for the Essexville Garber Dukes was at its best.
I tell you what, they were able to get out, get in the passing lanes, create tough shots. The shots that Birch Run had were running floaters, were running jumpers from the baseline. They were able to get their hands going, get their hands active, jump in the lanes, make everything tough. The only shots that they had that were wide open were the ones in transition where they forgot, they didn't talk, they didn't communicate, and they found a guy wide open for the three. But you take away that one wide open three-pointer, it's 13 points in 16 minutes, which is fantastic.
Maher running the offense. Obviously, he scored some great mid-range jumpers, but he really sets the rest of the people up offensively.
I really think when you look back at the film, it's going to be his mid-range shots where he found soft gaps that really pulled Birch Run out of the zone. He found a couple of them early, and when you give up 6 points in spots where you know that they're there, but you hope that your team doesn't allow that shot or that guy to cut through those open spots or those open gaps, and that's what Maher basically exposed for Birch Run. Was he got to the right spot, he got the ball, and he was able to make the shot. When you're able to make the shot, it's one thing. But when you're able to still get to the spot and get your shot off, it tells you that, all I got to do is get to this spot, and then I can rotate the ball, because what happens was the defense starts collapsing, and then we found a couple weak side shots where McFarland was able to be the recipient. And, what more can you ask for? You've got patience on the offensive end. You're making the defense do what you want them to do, and you're able to find an open shot somewhere.
Garber's got to cut down on their turnovers. They're trying to force the ball, and especially a few times late in the half, on stuff that might or might not be there. You've got the lead, you've got control. Set it back up the offense and start over.
Again, you're talking 90 seconds left in the first half. You've had the ball 4 times on the offensive end. What are you looking at? What are you seeing? And when you go back to the film, and that's a question that the kids who made the pass or the kids who were trying to post up, maybe they can answer that. What were you seeing? What did you see? I didn't see it up here. I don't think Coach Watt seen it down there. You've got to make sure that every possession is taken care of. But listen, especially with 90 seconds left and you got a 10-point lead or 11-point lead, if you got to force the ball somewhere, or if you got, as I tell my kids, if you have to lob the ball somewhere, it's not a good pass. if you have to put a ball in the air, 10, 15 feet in the air, it's probably not a good pass because you're not playing against kids who are just going to watch that ball get to where it's intended to. You're watching guys, that are quick, that can get there, they can get a hand on it. And that's what you were able to see. McGee was able to hold his fronting position. Swore out there at the end. Denham made a lob pass, it just never lobbed high enough.
That kid's got a big, long reach, but again, giving up only 16 points in the first half, scoring 25. It'll be exciting to see what the second half brings. Can they finish again tonight? We'll find out soon. Back for the second half in just a moment on Bay County TV.
At Covenant Healthcare, we lead with the most advanced technology. We lead with the most experienced, comprehensive medical and surgical teams. We lead with partnerships to teach our future doctors and with organizations who help us bring world-renowned care close to home. We lead because our patients are at the center of everything we do. Covenant Healthcare, extraordinary care for every generation.
Back here, second half just underway. Jeff Doan and TJ Newsham. Garber Dukes with a 25-16 lead. Let's see what happens here in the first couple of minutes of this third quarter. Spencer Mahar with a great steal. He wants to go coast to coast. Great job of body control. Seals off the defender and a kiss off the glass with a lefty.
People will say, why didn't he go up with his left hand? As a coach, you make your shot in the game. We'll worry about making left-hand layups in practice.
That was definitely a great job of body control. Look at Mahar defensively, too, just cutting off the path to the hole for Brewster.
Jopic had the low side there, was able to get himself in a position, just forcing that pass out. It's amazing what a little pass can do, how much time, 1.5 seconds, and all of a sudden you have more defensive pressure, more defensive intensity coming back at him.
Wide open, letting it fly. Number 10, Dylan McFarland, tickling the twine on the try.
All set up by the Van Octen screen. Great read on the screen for McFarland, and Mahar did the rest.
Nice 5-0 run to start this second half for the Garber Dukes. Nice job that time by Denham. He played good defense, but he just said, I got to let him go because I'm not going to let him get an and one.
No, sir. No, he had his hands up. He was going vertical with them. It was a good shot, kiss off the glass. Dukes come back down in the offensive end. They've had success here the first two trips down.
Boy, they're working hard right now to try and post up. Now Mahar says, I'm going to send that thing back out and around. Jacob Denham had McGee on him very wisely, thought a second about that shot and said, we can get a better look.
He had a couple of times where I thought maybe he was going to pull it.
Boy, and that's another one. Jake Denham has just been snake bitten tonight. Had good shots, just not able to find the hole. There's a 3-ball, too. You can tell that was a little bit off of the mark. And the rebound comes down to McFarland again as he gets it back to Spencer Mahar.
I think Jake just needs right now to hit a shot, whether it's a layup, whether it's a free throw. He needs to hit a shot. It's going to be no question. Once he does, I think they're just going to continue to roll for him. He's a great student athlete. Big exams this week. Could be a little tired from the studying. He could be a little tired from a little bit of things. But right now, we got to get the game. He's got to get in the game.
Well, he's making it happen on the defensive end, and again, he's getting good looks, but you like to see the finish.
Yeah, and again, I think if he gets one, it's one of those things where the domino effect starts to go down with him. It's like the jam that he had down a couple weeks ago. He put the slam down, and then, he hit that shot for the win. You kind of knew the shot was going in because he just had that confidence, that air about him.
Boy, and again, Jake Denham gets his hands on the ball defensively, still gets to McGee. And he finishes with the deuce.
Yeah, McGee made a nice play there, got his hands up. Kept the ball up, too. If you noticed that, he wanted to make sure that he didn't want to bring the ball down.
Little 4-0 run. McGee's going to pick up his second. And I'll tell you, McGee defensively is going to have a hard time keeping up with Denham when he's covering that much ground.
There's a lot of players in this conference that are going to have a tough time keeping up with Jake. And he's left-handed, so you're letting him go strong hands. So you got to decide at some point, are you going to make sure you beat him to the spot, get that legal guarding position as – didn't even get a chance to screen the screener.
Boy, I'll tell you, Spencer Mahar knew McGee was there and still got it off quickly enough that he could not alter the shot.
It was a great read. He rather than waiting for the screen, he just cut to the back door of the open spot, and thankfully Denham was passing the ball in bounds and was able to read it as well.
Nice little soft shot that time by Caleb Brewster.
Look now, but Birch run just sticking around right at that 10-point mark, just like it was, right around halftime. It was 9, and then it got to 14. Real quick there for the Dukes, and they're just keeping it around. They're just keeping it interesting.
Boy, Spencer Mahar again with the lefty, kissing it off the high glass for the Deuce. Well, I'll tell you, the good thing for Garber is it was 9 at the half. It's 12 now, and we're midway through the third quarter.
And I tell you what, Mahar channeled his Xavier Simpson there from the University of Michigan with that little left-hander high away from the defender's hand.
Yep. I'll tell you what, that's a thing of beauty. There's a little softy that time by number 3, Caleb Brewster. He's got the last 2 buckets wide open. McFarlane tickling it twine on the trifecta. Dylan squared up in the corner, and he'll take that all day.
You take 2, I'll take 3. You take 2, I'll take 3. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up on the right side.
I'll like
there.
my chances. Jake Denham with a nice job as that thing just fell into his lap.
He had to make sure his cheeks didn't move. That would have been a travel.
There's Jake in rhythm for the 3. He gets it to rattle home. And I think that we're going to have Coach James Preston with a timeout. He'll take one, and we'll take one as well. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Village Towing and Auto Repair of Kaukaulin and Bay City is here to help you in your hour of need with fast and friendly service. With over 30 years of towing experience, we know how to get the job done quickly and safely. From big to small, we do it all. Give us a call at 989-684-9607 for all your towing needs.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and the coach, TJ Newsham, along with you, Jared and Natalie Doan on the cameras, Nick Page producing and directing. Great night here as the Essexville Garber Dukes, with 3.5 left in the third, have built that 9-point halftime lead up to 16.
I tell you what, just when we were talking about how Birch Run was keeping it close, keeping it interesting, Spencer McFarland says, you know what? This is your interesting. I'll take one from the deep corner. Then you get Suwadowski coming down, Denham coming down, hitting one from the top. Now all of a sudden it's 16 points. Now what is Birch Run going to do?
And we know what Garber's going to do, and they're going to dial it up defensively and make you work hard for every single shot you can get. And there's a force by McGee down on the floor, and I don't like McGee's chances of winning that. And we're going to have jump ball, and it'll go back over to the Garber Dukes.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was good defense again. McGee comes in, that defense collapses down. Any passing lane that you think is open, all of a sudden disappears real quick, the way the Garber's playing. Hands are active, bodies are active. And here's a chance for them to really, really start putting this game away.
But they got an opportunity here to get her up by 20 with a couple of possessions. Jake Denham slides it back up top to McFarland.
It's always funny when you hear a coach yell, shooter, shooter, and you're looking around going, well, which one?
Yes.
Which one?
There's a bunch. As they go underneath, nice look, but great defense that time by number 24. Near decking.
Mark. Well, Van Acton's going to look at that going, why did I dribble?
Yep. Just take it up strong in a hurry and you'll make that deuce.
Denham realized that he was sitting down there all by himself, maybe a half a second late. And that was one of the first times that Jopic was not playing on the low side, he was playing on the high side. So that was one of the situations where right as he was going baseline, he actually could have continued.
But I tell you, it's really nice when you can push 3 buttons off the bench, take 3 starters off the floor, and come back in with quality talent.
Well, you're not missing much. You're not losing much. Riley Day's now in the game. Benny Davis is in the game. And our man Schimmel. And Riley Day says, I'll just take it.
And I think that McGee might have altered that shot as they go to the other end. And they fight for the loose ball. Wide open for a 3 ball. That's off the mark. And we're going to have a Schimmel foul. Is that what we're going to have?
Yeah, that's one of those weird fouls right there. That was after the shot. But, so they got him more on a push. where it didn't, it was after the shot was released. He gets down. Your closeout's got to be a little bit better here. 16 points up.
And that thing hit the stanchion up top, too.
Right.
So, in that point, you go, which happened first, the chicken or the egg? You don't know. But they got
there. As I say, McGee was looking to make a pass, and unfortunately, Brewster was going back door, at least going away from where the pass was going to go.
Well, you don't want your big fella out there being the guy that's going to have to be making that pass. And look, he should be comfortable about 5 feet in from the basket making plays.
I just figured they were going to keep him inside, give him the ball, pound the ball, make the Garber defense have to react to him. But instead, the Garber's defense is making him get the ball on the wing, and then thus starting to have to dribble the ball.
Boy, what a great job that time by Brewster going to the hole. Kissed that off the high glass. But in the last minute and a half, the Dukes still maintain that 14-point lead. Now coming strong to the hole, and that's going to go back over to Garber with $1:22 left. Duke's got a little sloppy on that offensive set.
So Bennett gets the ball, and it's if you notice, a lot of these guys when they're dribbling, they're pushing it down right next to them. They're not pushing the ball out in front of them. You push the ball in front of you, it's one dribble to your spot. You start dribbling 2 or 3 times, all of a sudden anybody, especially guys that are under 6'4", are going to be able to get their hands in there. So you want to make sure that you're pushing that ball out, go somewhere with the ball.
Boy, look down on the baseline, Natalie, and look at that fashion statement. Dave Schwartz, athletic director extraordinaire out here. Want to thank him for his hospitality tonight and always. One of the great men that we love to come out here and be part of the action. He's one of the best.
Well, he's wearing his honey mustard shirt, in honor of Friday. It's
Okay.
Casual Friday.
All right. I didn't know where you were going with that. But as McGee brings that ball down and he attracts the crowd as that ball comes down, and a beautiful job that time by Benny Davis. Quickly back down the floor. And an errant pass again. Jopic says, why? Why did I rush that pass?
Well, we're back under a minute now, and we talked about it when it was at 90 seconds. These 90 seconds, I think, is where Coach Watts is going to have to really nail down his team, because we've watched now for 2 games and 7 quarters worth. These last 90 seconds of each quarter need to be recognized a little bit better than what they have.
Again, good closeout defense by the Garber Dukes. Prevent an open look. Boy, he did not reestablish inbounds after going out of bounds. Jimmy Patakas wide on that thing all day long. And that's a mistake you just can't afford to make offensively.
Well, I was looking at it 2 ways. I wasn't sure if he was forced out of bounds, and that's another thing you can do. That's another no-no here in the game. You cannot run yourself out of bounds on the offensive end.
Are they going to look to take the last shot of the quarter? Not when you got a wide open 3 ball. As McFarland gets it, and Jopic is going to get called for the push.
We talked about in the first
Swanson.
half. Yeah, the first half, the fouls have been low. Second half, the same thing. Fouls have been low, very low.
Dukes got picked up a couple that they wish they'd have back, though, but they're working hard on the glass. So with 11 seconds left in the third, looks like the Birch Run Panthers are going to get the last opportunity here. And they're going to go to the line as Schimmel with a little body. 4 guarding 4.
Couldn't quite get his feet in front of McGuire there as he was driving left. I was kind of surprised. I know Schimmel had his hands up, and I know that's the universal look for players who don't think they foul anybody because their hands are straight up, but his feet just were continually moving, getting him with the lower body.
Again, number 4 with the first miss, McGuire. Second effort, much better. Still 3.9 seconds left. They're going to have time to launch one off. We're getting a nice long 3. Shot is up and off for the glass and the iron. At the end of 3 quarters, the Dukes from Garber 40. And the Birch Run Panthers 27. Back in a moment for the final 8 on BCTV.
AAA Transport and Limousine is the Great Lakes Bay region's most reliable and requested transportation service. For over a decade, we have been helping our clients to get to their destination on time, in style, and comfort. AAA's services include non-emergency medical transport, wheelchair accessible, school transportation, and shuttle services. We strive to provide exceptional customer service and tailor our fleet to meet your individual needs. Rest assured that you are in safe hands when you ride with AAA Transport and Limousine. To set up your next appointment, give us a call at 989-893-8294.
Here we are, ready to roll with the final 8 minutes. Garber plus 13 have put themselves in a position to come up with another big victory as they're gaining some great mid-season momentum here in this basketball season.
Learning how to finish. Learning how to finish is going to be their mantra right now. And this is going to be a key part right here as Birch run goes right on cue. The nice basket coming out of the timeout for the fourth quarter lead.
Gruno went up strong with that. Mahar back into the ball game.
Little motion action.
Boy, I'll tell you, Spencer then can't finish after a great drive to the hole. Trying to move that ball around. Birch run now getting that ball to Gibson.
Well, you can't complain about the look right there. Mahar had everything he wanted. He refused the screen that was being set by Van Acton.
Carrying the ball. Boy, and that's great because when you get an unforced turnover where your opponent's not even able to get a shot off, and that kind of made James Preston just a little upset. And I think that he should be because he realizes he needs these possessions to get back in the game.
Well, the first one, they hit the ball inside, a nice little shot down low.
Ball kicked.
Another opportunity there. It's a near turnover. It's one of those things you're up 11. There's 1 minute gone here. Let's get something. Either to get it inside or throw it back out. Don't force. Here's a little screener action that they're going to throw it up top.
Mahar says, you give me a second opportunity, I'll make the most of it. He used all of the glass and all of the iron, but he finally got her to drop.
And he hit the open gap.
You'll give that shot up all game long. Off balance from 17 feet. One and done as Mahar comes back down. And I'll tell you, he's drawing a crowd. Underneath, we're going to have a foul. That's going to go against Gruno.
Well, Van Acton in a nice position inside there. Ran a little triangle action from Mahar on the wing to Denham up top, down to Van Acton. You know, you got to reward the big guys down low. You got to give them a touch every now and then because if they don't, the time that you're looking to pass them the ball is going to be the time you're not going to have them.
Trying to move it around. Look at Jopic with his position underneath. Great job of using the body to shield off the defender. Little Bambino hook for the deuce.
Well, you got to love the ducking right there. I mean, Jopic, it was one of those things where you're looking at him, just what took you so long to give him the ball? Give him the ball. He ducked in. It was perfect. He was 3 feet from the basket. And he finished it.
They'll get a wide open second opportunity for a three ball, and that's off the mark. Here comes Spencer Mahar. He's going to get a nice little pump fake and unable to finish, but fighting for the loose change. And the Dukes, on the tenacity of the offensive glass, have a second chance.
They're tenacious because of the fact that number 5 had his hand in the ball. When his hands are on the ball, the good things are going to happen. They're going to follow suit, and that's exactly what happened there. Van Acton just a little too strong, but you know what? Give him another one. Maybe he makes it just like Mahar did a minute ago to make up for it.
Indeed. Trying to slide it around. They'll get back up top. Jopic, I'll tell you what, he goes back. Dylan McFarland wide open. Tackles that wide on the trifecta. When he squares up, he's got a pretty three.
I tell you what, and he's shooting shots. He's shooting shots within the range and catching the ball ready to shoot. You know, he's not shooting it from 25, 26, 27 feet away and then trying to manufacture the threes. But again, give credit to the Dukes. They're finding the guy who can shoot the ball.
Boy, and the Dukes are doing just a good enough job of sealing off. And we're going to have an offensive foul. And that's going to go against number 24, Niedecken.
Well, you know, it's Jopic had good position. It was one of those things where I thought maybe he was getting a little over touchy with the hands there, and he kept his hands straight up in the air. but he held his position. It was all about his feet. And then Niedecken, in the meantime, tried to force his way to get the shot off. And fortunately for Jopic, he was able to draw the offensive foul.
Boy, with an opportunity to go up 20 or more, just off the mark from Dylan McFarland. Nice hands for Spencer Mahar. He's going to give it to Jake Denham, and a big fella! Slam, bam, jam! Right in front of the Duke Dome crowd. Hear the student section. Loving every minute of it.
And they're going to get a foul on McGee.
And indeed, Jake Denham is going to go to the free throw line, and for the second game in a row on Bay County TV, he lights it up.
He excites the crowd. He excites his mom up there. Everything is good. He's playing it. You know what? Let's talk about it. I said once he hits his first shot, he hits the three. Now he's throwing them down. Now it's good.
Boy, and Spencer kept that ball to the last second, so McGee couldn't commit. Gave Denham that rock to the hole. That rock to the hole. No pun intended for his father. Great job and a great finish on the three.
Absolutely. I tell you what, that was a great decision by Mahar, and even a greater finish. And a greater finish by Denham.
Boy, a 21-point lead. There goes a deuce from number 24, Niedecken. And they'll take a Birch run timeout. We'll take a break as well and be back for the last 4:47 on Bay County TV.
Where did this rash come from?
Hold on, let me see. Could be bed bugs.
Oh. Mom, Grant says I have bed bugs.
Let's see what the doctor says.
Introducing Covenant Virtual Care. Real-time video doctor visits, e-prescriptions, and follow-up. Now extraordinary care comes to you.
See, it's just poison ivy. Smart advanced.
Learn more at covenantvirtualcare.com.
Just breaking the huddle as we look at the high flyer, Jake Denham, as he electrified the crowd. And again, he made it happen right in front of the student section, which is a thing of beauty.
Well, he did it in front of us last time. This time was one right, especially with McGee coming at him. That's even greater. That's even better. And McGee another time with his hands caught.
And I'm going to tell you what, Preston is real close to picking up something special here.
Well, he's defending his player. The problem with it is, you know, and here's the thing from the coach, and we talked about this. The delayed whistle makes it appear it's a late whistle. And they're not quite understanding it. And maybe they do understand it, but because of the heat of the moment, it was a good call. He got fouled.
It was the right call.
Yeah, and if he would have made the layup, chances are there would have been 0 whistles there. Unfortunately, he missed him. And Swarthout ends up hitting the free throw, 1 out of 2.
Split of the 2 at the free throw line. McGee picking up his 4th. Look at the defense. Mahar doing a great job. Swarthout, and there's a travel. Oh, they're going to get Swarthout with a bump.
I kept thinking, I wonder what he was thinking. I didn't know if he was going to try to come underneath it, if he was going to try to just continue driving it out, but he was dribbling with a purpose there. I just wasn't sure what the purpose was.
He was trying to figure out as he was going to the hole what that purpose was.
Brian Closen comes into the game here for the Dukes. First time we've called his name all night.
Look at Denham with a great job defensively. But the trifecta from Chase Gruno tickling the twine.
It's good defense, good closeout, better shot.
Yep, give credit to the shooter sometimes. And in that situation, he definitely earned it. And again, like the fact here that you're going to be patient offensively, you're going to take a little chunk off the clock, and you're going to look for one of those backdoor cuts for a real easy high percentage deuce.
They will run this triangle until Birch Run either fouls them or they get that backdoor look like you're talking. No reason not to. They got the better free throw shooters here at the free throw line area, and they'll reset it back up.
They've taken about 30 seconds off of the clock, and they're going to continue to take it too. As Mahar gets the ball to number 20, again close and just into the game. There's the turnover at the other end, under control. 23 Chase Gruno for the deuce. But in that situation, the foul is going to be on number 4, McGuire. If after 30 or 40 seconds you give up a turnover, the simple math on the clock says they're not going to have time to catch up, not going to have enough possessions.
True, but you got to come up with your own philosophy as a coach, and Coach Watt's philosophy is obviously there's 4 minutes left. There's a little bit more than 4. And you're going to go, I don't want to call it a stall. We're not talking Dean Smith here, but certainly a situation where you're taking time off the clock. You know, at what point do you keep playing or not play? As we got a whistle.
Coach Watt's going to take a timeout, I believe, at 30. And that means we'll take a break and be back in just a moment on Bay County TV.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Back on Bay County TV, happy at the moment, hoping his team finishes with style. Chris Watts.
Coming out of the timeout, same thing, back door. You either got to switch that or just know that they're running the same out-of-bounds play that they've ran on the film.
It's a beautiful thing, though, when they run it to perfection. Swear, though, with a little rejection. I don't know if they got him with the body or a hand up top. They're going to say with the body. Because it looked pretty clean up top, but he might have got him with a little body.
Well, the one thing Coach Watts is going to want to make sure he tells his guys, hey, listen up, 17 points. Let's try not to put the opposing team at the free throw line, but let's not try and stop the clock.
Another first-timer into the ball game, Aiden Weaver, the 6'4 senior. The little PT.
Well, Hitman close and didn't get their names mentioned in the first game. They're already a step ahead. Speaking of closing, he's going to go to the free throw line as long as he's okay.
I don't know. He's hurting.
Well, you know, this is one situation as a coach. If he's a 40% free throw shooter, stay down. We'll put someone down there coming in off the bench. We got somebody that can shoot that free throw for him. If he's a 90% free throw shooter, then you're going to make sure that the referees, the officials, the trainer stays off the court.
Just give me a second.
Absolutely. He just needs a 30-second.
He'll go to the free throw line. Brian Closen, 5'9 senior. Again, he caught that one right on the old schnozola, it looked like.
Well, you know what? It's a good reward for a good hard box out and a good hard rebound. Sometimes rebounds hurt, Coach.
16-point lead. Front end of the 1-and-1. He recovered well, all cotton on that first delivery.
He's looking over, making sure there was no sub coming in for him.
They would never miss that second one intentionally if they were going to be subbed out. Both ends of the free throw. Nice job that time by Closen.
Well, we talked about the Dukes having to get, this is their next step. Put a team away. Don't give them a chance there in the fourth quarter.
Oh, they're going to get Aiden Weaver, I believe.
Well, we win it rough.
Little ticky-tack.
We talked about 3 fouls in the third quarter combined for the both teams, and now we're up to 8 and 8 across the board. You know, they're either getting a little bit out of position, maybe getting a little tired. As they use your line, he used every piece of that rim.
Oh, I'll tell you. Doesn't have to look pretty as long as it finds cotton.
In the scorebook is going to be a little circle with colored all the way in.
Second free throw attempt. Bend to the knees. Flick of the wrist. All cotton on the delivery. Spencer Mahar's calling for help. He says, now I guess I don't need it. And look at that. He just gives a little look to the corner to number 22, Weaver. Pulled the defender away. He says, I can finish this.
Weaver's like, no, throw it. Pass it.
At the other end, Schimmel with a rebound off of the miss. 2.5 minutes and counting left in the ball game. Dukes by 18 with possession.
This is their next step, being able to take a team like Birch Run, as close as Birch Run was making this game here not too long ago.
Yep, they had it down to just under double digits.
And they had the ball. We got a turnover. We were able to sneak something away, and all of a sudden, lead balloons back up. Play after play, possession after possession. Dukes take advantage of it. Schimmel throwing a little globetrotter.
He's got a little Duncan yo-yo action going there. He says, I got this ball on a string.
Now I'm going to take it to the free throw line. Riley Day is going to check back in and come on in for Spencer Mahar as he gets a nice round of applause from his teammates on the bench.
Well deserved, I might add.
Well, I tell you what, we don't have the number of assists unofficially, but just the number of plays he makes with his eyes are very impressive as he goes and shakes hands with everybody over there on the Garber sideline all the way out to the hallway.
Right behind the bench, too, in the corner is still pretty giddy, happy head coach of the girls' team, Kim Klein.
I can't tell if she got her hands crossed and she's praying or is she...
She's just thankful. As the second free throw misses with now 2 minutes left in the game. Swarthout, it did not get there in time. He might think he did, but he never established himself defensively. And but you know, when you look at a big fella coming down the floor like Chase Gruno, to stand there and know you're going to get run over.
Well, if I'm 6'8", there's a chance that I'm going to take it a little bit harder. You know, he was out of position. He reached in at the last second. You know, it was unfortunate. It was unfortunate that he did that. But on the flip side of it, we're going to get a sub here for the Dukes, another timeout.
He'll take a timeout. We'll take one as well with about 59 left in the game. 58-42. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Ow, ow, ouch. My hip, my knee, my joints feel out of whack. Ow, ow, oh my. The pain. I can't take it anymore.
Back here with 1:59 left in the ball game. Very, very exciting ball game for the Garber Dukes, able at this point to finish in style.
Well, we're going to get some guys some playing time that haven't got a lot of playing time, but it's still going to be the big thing. Finish the game. They're up 16 with 2 minutes left, but we've got to make sure that we take care of the basketball. We got to make sure that we're strong with the basketball, and let's make our free throws and then get back and play defense. A little confusion there by Terry.
Yep, and it's going to be Garber Duke ball, and it's after the free throws made.
This is the one thing I try to stress to players. Know when you can run the baseline on and out of bounds. Right now he can run the baseline, but he's acting like he can't. It's important to know that when you're going out there.
Well, and your officials should be very, very good about letting you know about it as well. As the ball down on the floor, good job, nothing there. They're going to pull it out, take a little chunk of the clock. Schimmel has that ball tipped away as it's down loose on the ground. Finally picked up by number 42, Brady Tolles, just into the ball game. And a big trifecta from number 23, Chase Gruno. And now here at the other end, strong to the hole with the finish, number 14, Benny Davis.
He was waiting for that ball. I don't think that ball was ever going to come down. Good pass by Riley Day ahead.
Here's the big fella with a little bit too much juice on that one, and Aaron Swanson with the foul at the other end. And we're going to go back to the other end of the floor and shoot some free throws.
Able to keep this 15-point lead the way that it is. You know, you're going to look back at a couple of these things and you're going to go, you know, we can tweak this. But again, it's a big opportunity for the Dukes to take another step. A conference rival, a conference game here at home. You know, you got to win your home games. The way that they were able to do it and the way that they're able to maintain that, you know, they got off to the quick start and then they had the quick start after halftime. Those shots always loom important, and you never know how important they loom until you get to the bottom line.
Second free throw is all Cotton. Split of the two at the line, 16-point lead with 1:05 and counting left in the ball game. There's a high trajectory three-point shot. Swanson with a nice job of keeping it alive and then throwing away. As the ball will go back over to the Garber Dukes with 56.8 ticks left in the ball game.
High school basketball, I guess as an official, you're up by 15, 16 points, under a minute.
Don't give away too many trade secrets.
Do you have a problem with kids, you know, who don't get a lot of playing time? Do you have a problem with them shooting as an official?
No, because you understand the situation that it's a kid that doesn't normally get a chance to get into the scoring column, and you want to do that for him. I don't think that that's a showing anybody or anything up.
Okay.
Here we go to the other end of the floor. Coast to coast with a kiss for 23, Chase Gruno. Chase with a little reach and still a 14-point lead. Garber may not take another shot the rest of this ball game. They may just chew the clock.
It'll be interesting to see.
Davis is going strong. And no call as they're going to let him play on with 10 ticks left. And a nice job that time by Brewster. And with 2 seconds left, that's all there is, and there isn't any more. It's 2 for 2 tonight as the Garber Dukes come away with a 61-49 victory. Back in a moment, we'll put the wraps on this one on BCTV.
How's married life? Are you ready to have a baby? Baby, baby. How about that baby? Ooh. I'm not getting any younger.
When you are ready, with the only neonatal intensive care unit in the Great Lakes Bay region, Covenant is the safest place for your delivery. Go to mycovenantbaby.com.
Back for the post-game show on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and the coach, TJ Newsham. They got the lead, they maintained the lead, and they finished.
They did everything that Coach Watts could have imagined. They did it in the beginning of the game where they got up to a quick lead. They did it after halftime where they were able to extend their lead. So as a coach, he's going to be very happy when he watches it. He's going to be very happy with the players for responding the way they did when Birch tried to basically throw a punch back at them there in the second half. The counter punch was very impressive.
They just had an answer for everything that Birch tried to do tonight. And again, I think it all comes back to their floor general running a great show tonight.
We talked about Mahar maybe not having, we don't know the number of assists he has, but the plays that he makes with his eyes and the way he creates for his teammates were as equally as impressive as any amount of assists that they may give him credit for tonight. You know, he's looking guys away. He's giving his teammates an opportunity to make a basket, and right at the basket, or he's giving them an opportunity to make a wide open jump shot. So he's doing everything as a floor general that you couldn't ask for anything better.
Well, and then he comes down the lane and he looks to the corner, pulls the defender away for a step. The Red Sea parts, and he's able to go to the hole and finish.
Well, the key thing of the game, the key part of the game is Birch gets it down to 10. Garber gets the ball. Nobody talks on Birch defense. They leave McFarland wide open for a 3 in the corner. He's wide open. He's made 3 or 4 already. That's a layup for McFarland. So he hits that one. So now they're up 13. Next possession is when Denham rattles the 3. I wouldn't say hit it. He rattles the 3 home. So he rattles this 3 home. Now they're up 16. You know, you had the ball. You're down 10. You know, a chance to get to single digits, and now all of a sudden you look up and it's 16, and then not too long after that, 2 or 3 possessions is when Denham really solidified the first nail of the coffin by throwing the jam down, the dunk jam.
Boy, and I'll tell you again, that was Mahar down the floor waiting till the last split second, pulled McGee away, and then gave it to Denham, where all he had to do is take a step and a half and finish with authority in front of the student section.
Not only did he finish it, but he got the foul. So not only do you get the slam jam, you get to go to the free throw line after all the adrenaline and after everybody high fives you, and you get rewarded with the free throw. And he swished that one. It was the best shot of the night, and it was it was another one of those key shots that just keeps Birch at arm's distance. You know, every time they try to fight back, it just counterpunch. We're going to jab at you a little bit. We're going to keep you further away.
So you're saying, in other words, that Coach Watt's team took another step forward tonight, had somebody down, and able to finish. This team is really starting to take shape right now. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch down the stretch.
They are, and they're doing it with different players every night. It's not always Denham. It's not always Mahar. Mahar is a general, yes, but as far as the scoring goes, McFarland won game. Van Acton won game. Denham one game. They're getting production, and they're getting guys off the bench. And whether those guys are scoring, it's that they're providing that 3-4 minute spurt to give the starters a little bit of a rest. And they're not losing anything from the defensive side of it. You don't have to score points as a substitute. When you come in the game, you want to make sure that you hold serve and that you have an opportunity to provide your team with some production, but more importantly, get it done on the defensive end.
Defense and rebounds are equally as important as scores, but another great night for the Garber Dukes as they come away with another huge victory. Coach, another great opportunity to have you along my side. You continue to do masterful things, and we're always appreciative that you're available.
I'm just happy to be here, you know, just being in the same circle as you.
Wow, you're easily impressed.
Observing all those brain waves that I can do. Nick Page, Jared, and Natalie. Always helping out. Providing us rookies with the level of expertise that you guys have. I'm just glad to be here.
Well, it's always a pleasure, and it was a great night tonight. The Garber Dukes with a 12-point victory cap off a great night here at Garber. Thanks for being with us. We'll look forward to talking with you soon. Good night.